Hi, you just got done reading about Arnold's apple tree. We have an apple tree at our house too, and it's fun to go out and see the blossoms and watch the apples grow. First, they start out as teeny tiny green apples, and then by fall, we have red apples ready to pick. We're going to use this tree page today to kind of show how Arnold's tree changed through the year. We're going to start with the first one, spring. So if you are able to print this page off from your computer, great, you can follow along and do it with me. If you're not able to print it, maybe you can grab a piece of paper and do your best job to make 4 spots on your paper and some easy trees in those 4 spots. We are going to start with spring. You could add that word. That would be a great writing job for you today. So if you need to, you can stop the video now and add those details to your paper. I'm going to use my pencil to trace over summer. They used a really light color for that. So I'll get that fixed. You can grab your paper. I also brought my basket of markers and pencil. If you want to grab some tools, you can use crayons or markers and a pencil to do some extra drawing we're going to add to our pictures. So I'm going to fix summer here. Summer is S-U-M-M-E-R. There, that makes it a little bit easier to see on your side. So we'll start with spring. Arnold's tree had some spring buds and blossoms. The buds would be where those leaves are going to start growing out and where the flowers start, because all apples, this is cool science, all apples start as a little flower on the apple tree. That's pretty fun. Out of that flower, when the petals fall off, that's when the small, teeny tiny apple starts to grow. So on our spring picture, I'm just going to add some green dots to the branches. You might not even be able to see those very well. When leaves and the flowers start to grow, they just are little buds. So you can add some green buds starting on your branches of your tree. Yeah, those are tricky to see on mine. I also have a pink. Sometimes flower buds on an apple tree are white and a little bit of pink in them sometimes. Especially on cherry trees, you can see pink blossoms. But I'm just going to add some pink dots on there too for my flower blossoms. So they're a little bit different color than my leaves that are starting. One more detail we could add to our picture is in the spring our grass starts to grow back nice and green. So we could add some green grass here at the bottom of our tree. I'm going to get my pencil out next. I noticed something that Arnold made for his tree in the spring. Do you remember what he put in his tree to play with in the spring? It was a swing. He tied 2 ropes with a swing on it so he could swing from his apple tree. I'm going to add that to my picture. 2 ropes. And then I'm going to add a rectangle down here for his swing seat. All right, there's our spring apple tree. Let's move to summer. In the story about Arnold, it talked about green leaves were growing all over the tree now, and he even had some small green apples. So this is going to be a little tricky because everything's going to be green. But I'm going to add some oval-shaped leaves. All over the branches. You can add those too. And then from the branches, I'm going to add some green circles where the apples are starting to grow. When apples are this small and still green, they're not ready to pick yet. They won't taste very sweet. They need to keep growing all summer. Oh, I'm going to get my pencil out too and add something fun that Arnold added to his tree. In the spring he put a swing on it. Do you remember what he added in the summer? He added a tree fort. Yeah, so I'm going to, up here, kind of draw a square, maybe add some lines to make it look like the wood he used. Give it an anchor to the tree there. Well, and I think I'm going to put a ladder over here to the side. And I could put my swing back over here because he didn't take it down. He left it hanging in his tree. There's a summer apple tree. I'm going to pull out my green one more time. Add some more green grass. Maybe a little bit later I can add some more leaves because in the summer trees are full of their beautiful green leaves. But we're going to move next to fall. We've done spring, summer, and now fall. In the fall, our story told us that it had ripe red apples. That's when apples are ready to pick. They've turned red and they're done growing. I'm going to add some red apples to my tree. And oops, sometimes this happens. When they're done, they start to just fall off the tree too, so some of them might be laying on the ground. And instead of green leaves, all of them, I'm going to add a few green leaves, but in the fall, leaves change colors on trees, so I'm going to only do a few green ones, and the rest of them, I'm going to do some orange ones. And just like the apples, you could put some leaves on the ground because in the fall they start to fall off too. They're done growing. I'll add a few yellow ones and that'll look like a fall tree with apples ready to pick. Add a little more grass. And there's our fall apple tree. I bet Arnold loved being able to pick apples and eat yummy things. I remember they even made some apple cider. That would be fun to do. The last picture is winter. We've done all 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. In the winter, apple trees don't have any leaves or apples growing on them, so we're going to leave that tree plain. No leaves can grow in the winter. It's too cold. And the one thing I'm going to add with my pencil that I remember Arnold added was a snowman. Give him a smile. Ooh, and I can use my markers in a moment to color that carrot nose on my snowman. Ooh, I could add the swing in the background still. And that tree fort. And I didn't get those added in my fall tree either. That would be a fun time to be in a tree fort. Walk outside, pick an apple, and have a snack inside. There we go. Maybe you can take a picture of your trees and send it to us on our Google Classroom. Have a good afternoon.